How many years were you in TV?
I started, once I officially moved here, which was 2005, I did it for about 6 years. And yeah, I worked on Prison Break. That was the first show. And then the last show was Eastbound and Down in North Carolina. I actually went to North Carolina to shoot that film, shoot that TV show. And yeah, I definitely had different reactions on both shows. Season 1 of Prison Break was really, really exciting. It was the hit show, and I was really glad to be a part of it, that I was finally making money in LA. And everybody, all my friends were calling me and they're like, oh yeah, I saw the show last night and what's gonna happen? And it was really exciting, and I was really open to doing whatever the producers wanted me to do, whatever my bosses wanted me to do. And it just felt great being a part of a team. And even though I wasn't involved creatively, I was like, yeah, this is, I've made it. I'm gonna, maybe I'll be, writing a show one day, and I'll have my name in the credits. But then, flash forward 6 years later, I was actually working on Eastbound and Down in North Carolina, and I loved all the people that I worked with. I really connected with them, and they were great. Just that I felt differently on that last show. I was really unfulfilled, and there was so many things happening, and all the days we couldn't. I was in accounting then. All the days were, all the paperwork was getting high, and I didn't really have time for my writing. I would always go home and fall asleep at the computer, and it would really bother me. And I thought, how many more years am I going to be doing this? And I remember specifically, there was a sizzle reel of the show where they cut together all the different, all these highlights before the season started of the show for the cast and crew, to get them excited for the upcoming season. And I watched it, and I didn't really feel anything. And I looked at other people who didn't have anything to do with the show creatively. They're my level or in a different department. And they were really excited, and they were just like, so they were saying that all the stuff that they went through was worth it because of what they saw on the sizzle reel. And I just felt like, I'm working on someone else's show. I didn't really feel anything. Maybe it's time for me to get out. It's I've kind of lost that. It's kind of gotten old now. It's time for me to move on and try to work on my own show or my own movie. So that's when I decided to leave.
Do you think the recession had anything to do with that too? Because you started when the economy was doing fairly well, and then...
I don't think so, because nowadays there's all these different shows. Shows are abundant now. Whoever says that there's no work in Hollywood and it's all competitive, they don't know all the shows that exist that they'll never see on all these different platforms. So I don't think, there was always a show. So that I don't think that was the case for me. It was just my own personal fulfillment. I wasn't feeling it.
Right. So then did you say, did you give yourself any kind of deadline? You say, I'm gonna leave this job and do something that's, more piecemeal or part-time, and then work on my own stuff?
I did try to give myself a deadline, but I'm also really bad at deadlines too. I've noticed it's one of my big weaknesses. I usually predict stuff like, oh, I'm going to get it done by this time, and then, I'm still trying to figure that out. But I did take some, writing classes, and I felt like it was time for me to, start writing my own feature film. And I knew that there was going to be a big learning curve that, I was going to take some time. But I was ready to do it. I was ready to if it took years, I was going to do it.